What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mind Over Matter. I'm your host, Anya, and this is a space where mental toughness meets real life solution. No fluff, no just think positive vibes, real tools, real change. Today's guest is Stanley F. Bronstein, attorney, CPA, life coach author, and the headline that matters most. Stanley went from 367 pounds to 140s. No surgery, no weight loss drug, just sustainable lifestyle shifts, mindset work, daily walking, and a commitment to constant improvement. Then he did the rarer thing. He kept it off for nearly 17 years. See, if you have ever thought, I can change for a month, but I can't change forever, this episode is your wake up call. We are digging into Stanley's mind body spirit integration and his four factors for permanent positive change: willingness, belief, discipline, and commitment. And we are going to stress test them like grown ups because motivation is cute, systems are undefeated.
I'm glad to be here. Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Mhm. So, you talk about willingness as the first factor. In your experience, what actually creates willingness? Is pain, purpose, identity, just being tired of your own excuse?
There can be many things that create willingness. One of them is desperation. If someone, it's like I work with, for example, I work with a lot of people to help them manage their money, to help them manage their investments. And I used to have one of my best friends is a doctor, and she used to say all the time that my work was not as important as her work because health was more important. And I used to say, well, people always think their wealth and their money is more important until they get sick and they become desperate. And then all of a sudden their health becomes important. So it's a little bit of both. So you have to sometimes, you know how they say an alcoholic needs to hit rock bottom before they're willing to wake up. I don't believe you have to hit rock bottom. I think desperation is just one thing that can cause willingness. There's also just desire, wanting to be something better than you are. In my case, my health, I made my changes before my health failed me. Eh, all the problems were coming. I hadn't had a heart attack yet. I had not had a stroke yet. I didn't have diabetes yet, but all those things were coming. And I knew deep down that I was meant for something better than that. My parents always told me I was meant for something better than that. And to be honest, I was a little bit disgusted with myself. I was disappointed in myself. I felt that I could do better. And so I said, okay, it's time to make some permanent changes, not temporary changes, permanent ones. And I started doing that.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. And what's one tiny willingness signal you look for in a client that tells you that they're finally ready, even if they're scared?
I look at their actions, not their words. Actions just tell you who a person wants to be. They don't necessarily tell you who they are. They may tell you, I'm ready to change. I want to change. I'm willing to change. But then they go out and they do the same old negative things that they were doing before. I mean, I had a client the other day. She was complaining about something. And I said, look, either you want this or you don't. If you want it, here is what you need to do. If you're not willing to do that, then you must not really want it. You just say that you want it. So I look at their actions.
And I love that because willingness isn't hype, it's a decision with receipts. If someone's waiting to feel ready, they'll be waiting forever. What I'm hearing is start messy but start honest.
Agreed. Start. When I started 17 years ago, I was not perfect. But I made some decisions, and I said I'm going to stop drinking alcohol. I said I'm going to stop drinking soda pop, and I'm going to stop eating beef and pork. Those were 4 decisions I made right in the very beginning, and I stuck with them. But I was not perfect along the way. I made mistakes along the way. But that brings you to another thing, which is keep going. It's okay if you make mistakes. You are a human being. You are not perfect. I am not perfect. You are not perfect. No one is perfect. You're going to make mistakes. The question is, do you learn from those mistakes? Do you change your future actions based upon what you learned? And then do you pick yourself up and keep going? Do you persist? That's what separates successful people from people who are not successful. Do you keep going? Do you learn from your mistakes? Because we're all going to make them.
Yes, 100%. So let's stop belief. People say you believe in yourself, like it's a switch. But belief usually comes after evidence. How did you build belief when the mirror, the scale, and your past didn't exactly scream this is possible?
There's such a thing as faith. You know, faith in yourself, faith in others. And that's where belief starts. Yes. In the beginning, well, I mean, I had evidence that in the past, there were times when I had lost weight before, but I always put that weight back on plus more because my changes were temporary and were not permanent. So I said to myself, on some level, I believed I could do it. But you belief is a funny thing. I believe that all of us, every single one of your listeners, you, me, everybody, we are all more powerful than we imagine. We all sell ourselves short. We all have limiting beliefs where we think we can't do something when the reality is not only can we do that, we can do more. So it's just faith, taking that leap of faith and and just saying, I'm gonna do it. Whether I believe I can or believe I can't, I'm gonna do it anyway. Having faith in yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And if someone has zero self trust right now, what's the fastest way to rebuild belief without lying to themselves?
Just do it anyway. Start anyway. Start small. For example, if you're someone who wants to learn to eat better, eat healthier, don't say, I'm going to start eating healthier now and keep it up for the rest of my life. Say, I'm going to eat healthier at this next meal. Just one meal. Eat healthier at that one meal. And then after you do that, see how you feel and go, hey, I did that. I was able to eat healthier for one meal. Tomorrow, I'll try that again. And you try it again. And the next day, you try it again. And then a week later, you say, I'm going to try to eat healthier for the whole day. And you sit there and you do that. And you see that you're able to handle it. Little steps. break the process down into small pieces. When everything is big, it overwhelms you and fear comes in, and you say, I can't do that. I'll never be able to do that. Just do something small. I can eat a healthy meal today. I can eat one healthy meal for lunch today. That's it. Something small. Start there.
Yes, because real talk, fake confidence is exhausting. And I'm obsessed with the idea of proof based belief. Small wins stacking into a new identity. That's not inspirational, that's strategic.
Yeah, yes, it is. Absolutely. It's just you have to establish when you start small, you see how you feel after doing that, and you grow into that. You experience what it feels like to have that one little small success, and you see what it feels like. And then you step into that and you go, I'm a person who had that one small success. So that means tomorrow I can be that person again, and I can do it again tomorrow. And the day after that, I can be that person again and do it then too. You step in, you experience the feeling, and you step into the identity, because so much of mind over matter, it literally, it's between your ears. It's in your head, and it's emotional. That's why the feelings are so important. Your body needs to feel your emotions. Your body needs to feel what that success feels like. And then you can step into that and truly experience it. And that is how, over time, you learn to be something more than what you are today.
Yes, totally. And discipline is the word everyone avoids, but it sounds like punishment. But you're framing it as integrity and alignment. So, what's the difference between discipline that heals you and discipline that harms you?
Well, first of all, discipline that harms you usually comes from an outside source. It might be your parents who discipline you. It might be a teacher who disciplines you. It might be your employer who disciplines you. It it usually comes from an external source. Self-discipline is part, it grows out of the belief. It is learning, it is deciding in advance what it is you're going to do. Like for me, I have become disciplined in that every morning when I wake up from bed, I put on my clothes and I walk every day. It's not a question, it's something I do. It's discipline. And that, in the beginning, it might seem like a punishment because you may not feel like doing it, but it is really a form of loving yourself. And in my example, when I first started and I made up my mind that I was going to go walking every day, I remembered a lady who I met back in 2007 who was completely bedridden and she could not walk at all. And I sat there and I told myself, that lovely woman cannot walk at all. And here I am, I'm perfectly capable of walking, and I'm complaining. So I said, uh-uh, I'm not going to complain. I am privileged in that I am able to get up and go for a walk. It's not something I have to do. It's something I get to do. This lovely woman who's completely bedridden can't do it. I can. I am fortunate that I can do that. It is my privilege to go for a walk. So I'm going to go for a walk and I'm going to enjoy it. It's all in how you look at it, Anya.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's amazing. And what do you say to the person who is disciplined at work, disciplined for everyone else, but falls apart when it's time to show up for themselves?
Think about when you get on an airplane, what do they tell you? One of the first things you hear is a message that says, if the oxygen masks come down and you are traveling with small children, be sure and put your oxygen mask on first and then take care of your small children that you're carrying with. If you don't take care of yourself first, you're not going to be you're not going to be in a good position to take care of others. You will do a much better job of taking care of others if you take care of yourself first. That is not being selfish. That is being strategic. And that is being loving to yourself. And that is being smart.
Yes, and that one hits because high performers can be world class at production and absolute chaotic in self care. It's like I can run a company, but I can't run my own nervous system. That's the pivot in discipline as self respect and not self violence.
And that's absolutely correct. You and I would say I would question anybody who says they're capable of running a company, they're capable of running a family, they're capable of running others. If you can't take care of yourself, how capable are you? I'll give you an example. Many years ago, I used to complain that in the workplace, I did not get as much respect as I felt like I was entitled to. I felt like I was deserving of much more respect than I usually received. And now when I look back at that, I realize that when I was walking around at more than 300 pounds, I was showing people an outward manifestation, my weight, that on some level I didn't respect myself enough to take care of myself. And that is why I didn't receive the level of respect from others as I felt like I deserved, because I showed them, hey, if I don't respect myself, why should you bother to respect me either? And it's amazing that once I began taking care of myself, all of a sudden, people began respecting me more.
Yes, that makes so much sense. And the flex here is not the weight loss, it's the maintenance for nearly 17 years. That's where most people lose for the plot. What's the commitment look like after the applause fades and nobody's clapping for you anymore?
First of all, I made the commitment before I lost any of the weight. I made the commitment in the very beginning. I said on February 1st, 2009, I said, I'm going to start eating better every day and I'm going to start exercising every day. And my exercise of choice is going to be walking. I made that commitment. And when you make a true commitment, when you're 100% all in, everything becomes easier. Because when you are committed, you don't have to make decisions anymore. I don't have to, like I said, I don't ask myself every morning if I'm going to go for a walk. I am 100% committed to doing that. So I just do it. No questions to ask, no questions to answer, no decisions to be made. It's already been done. When it comes to eating healthy today, I don't ask myself, am I going to eat healthy today? I am committed, 100% committed to eating healthy every day. So there are no questions to ask. There are no questions to be answered. There's nothing to do. If somebody puts unhealthy food in front of me, I don't ask myself, am I going to eat this? Because I already know the answer is no. I'm not going to meet that. I'm 100% committed to only eating healthy food. So if somebody tries to give me something that's unhealthy, I say, thank you. I take it and then I give it to someone else. I just, I don't eat it. It's commitment is where the true power comes in. But to get to the point where you're committed, it takes the willingness, it takes the belief, it takes the self discipline. But the commitment is where you get the true power. And the more committed you are, the easier all of this becomes.
Hmm. That's beautiful. But when you have a bad week or life punches you in the throat, what are your non negotiables that keep you from sliding back?
I just said what they were, everything that I made a commitment to. I didn't I didn't commit to eating healthy only on the days where life is good to me. I didn't commit to going for a walk only on days where life doesn't punch me in the throat. I committed to eating healthy every day. I committed to walking every day. So that's what I do. If life punches me in the throat, which it does sometimes, you still have to deal with it. That's normal. You do it, but you stick to your commitments. Those are the non-negotiable items, the things that I committed to. And and in my opinion, eating healthy every day, getting exercise every day, meditating every day puts me in a better, putting my oxygen mask on every day puts me in a better position to deal with life when it punches me in the throat. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And this is the part I want listeners to really hear. Because change isn't a project, it's a relationship. And commitment is not intensity, it's consistency with a long memory.
Yeah, yes, it is. I follow a philosophy and I teach this philosophy. It's known as constant and never ending improvement. The goal is to be better today than you were yesterday. The goal is to be better tomorrow than you were today. And if you follow that philosophy where you get just a little bit better every day, you're not in competition with anybody else. You're not even in competition with yourself. The goal is to just get better every day. And if you do that over time, the results you achieve will amaze you. I am in year 17 of constant and never ending improvement, just getting a little bit better every day. And the things that I have seen and the things that I have experienced and the it amazes me. It's taught me that I am more powerful than I ever imagined. It's taught me that if I was able to do all these wonderful things, there must be something else out there that I'm able to do. And it's also taught me that if I am this powerful, everyone else is powerful too. I am not any better than anybody else. All of us are powerful, and we are all capable of doing so much more than we ever imagined. That's the truth of the situation.
Yes, I love that. And listeners, before you bounce, here's your mini challenge for the next 7 days. Pick one goal you have been thinking about forever. Then write these 4 lines on a note in your phone. Willingness. What am I willing to do daily even when I'm not in the mood? Belief. What's one small action that proves this is possible? Discipline. What's my minimum standard on my worst day? And commitment. What will I do when I slip? Not if, when. Then do the tiniest version of it today. One walk, one real meal, one journal paragraph, one honest boundary. Keep it simple, keep it real. If this episode lands for you, share it with someone who's stuck in the loop of starting over and drop a comment or a review with your biggest takeaway. It helps more than you think. Alright, fam, that's it for today's Mind Over Matter. I'm Anya, and this episode with Stanley Bronstein is your reminder that permanent change isn't magic, it's a framework repeated with integrity. So until next time, stay grounded, stay brave, and keep choosing the next right step.